Hi, and welcome to Ask Ellen, real questions, real talk, real change. My name is Ellen, I'm a personal coach, and I like to help women get through the bumps and the hiccups in their lives so they can move forward and have a happier life. Today I want to talk about the 5 ways to politely say no. I think the hardest word for a lot of people to say is no. It's not because we don't want to say it. It's because, well, as you know, and I'm sure that's what you're thinking about right now, you just don't want to disappoint someone. You don't want to seem rude. You don't want to hurt someone's feelings. And sometimes, well, you're worried that somebody might think less of you because you are saying no. The truth is, saying no does not have to be harsh. We can say it in a kind way. We can say it in a polite way so that we protect ourselves, but also we're doing it in a nice way so that the other person does not feel offended, so the other person is not hurt, and also so that you convey exactly how you feel and still feel okay about it. Today, I want to share with you 5 different ways to politely say no, depending on the situation. Let's get into it. The first way to politely say no is to use the appreciative no. This is one I probably use the most. You always want to start with appreciation. Let the person know that you care about them, that you're thankful that they tried to include you, that they reached out to you, but unfortunately, you're not interested. Thank you so much for thinking of me. I really appreciate the invitation. That's really kind of you to ask. People like to feel appreciated. When you let people know that they're appreciated, and that you are acknowledging that they took the time to reach out to you, it kind of softens that no. It makes it feel less harsh. It lets the person who sent you the invitation to do whatever it is, it lets them know that you care about them as well. But, and this is the thing, what is that but? You don't have to make it lengthy. You don't need to go crazy and elaborate on this whole thing. You can just fill it in with, but I'm going to pass at this time. Or you can say something like, I won't be able to make it. Simple, concise, easy. Letting the person know that you care, that they cared enough to reach out to you, and then easily give them the no will make it easier for you to just pass on a situation that you're really just not feeling up to. It's okay to say no, and this way is a very nice way. It shows that kindness and honesty can work together to give the no that you want to give without hurting anybody's feelings. The second way to politely say no is to use the honest no. Sometimes the truth is the best way to go. I say use this particular type of no with discretion. The truth is usually very simple. The real reason why you're saying no is usually the best one to give. That way you don't have to remember some kind of lie or some kind of elaborate story that you've given. However, although honesty is the right way to go, sometimes this can feel a little bit too honest. So you may want to say something like, I just don't have the time. By saying that you don't have the time, it's simple, it's truthful, and the person receiving that as an answer will understand that you are busy. You can also say, my schedule is already full. It's a truth, it's honest, and the person receiving that message will obviously know that you can't add more to your schedule. The honest no just needs a little tweaking when you want to say something maybe not too polite. So this is a video on how to politely say no. You don't want to then say, I don't want to go because your parties are always horrible and boring. That's probably not the way you want to go with this honest no. That honest no can easily be, I can't make it. It's direct, it's honest, and the person knows that there's no wiggle room in there so that they know you're just not coming. Remember, giving a honest no or a no for any invitation you are given is not saying no to the person, you're saying no to what you've been invited to. It's your choice to decide whether or not you want to participate in a certain activity, event, or outing that somebody has planned. The best approach sometimes can be the honest approach. And that honest no goes far because they know that you're not creating some kind of story for them to feel less than. Don't make excuses for your no, just be honest. The third way to politely say no is to use the direct no. This can feel a little uncomfortable for some people because it's short. You want to say things like, that doesn't work for me, or I'm going to pass, or a simple no thank you. You don't need an explanation. You don't need a 10-minute speech. You don't need to go into these excuses or those excuses. You're just being direct. No thank you. It's polite. It gets the message across, and it lets the person know that you're not interested. You can say that I don't have the time for that. I'm already occupied. I already have something to do. My plate is full. Any of these options work as a direct no. The most direct no would be to say no. However, that's not very polite. You do want to at least say it in a kind way so that the person who sent you the invitation for whatever it is, they want to take you for lunch or meet you for a coffee, you still want to be polite. You still want to say it in a nice way so that that person knows that you're not saying no to them. You're just saying no to the activity. The fourth way to politely say no is to use the delayed no. This form of no is perfect for those who tend to rush in to a yes too quickly, and then they regret it later. A lot of people fall into this habit of saying yes too quickly, and then they feel bad because they really don't want to do the thing that they're going to do. When you use the delayed no, it gives you time to think. It gives you time to look at what you have to do and also look at this new opportunity and see if it's right for you. You can try things like saying, let me think about it. Or you can say, can I get back to you tomorrow? Or let me check my schedule first. These are all ways of, well, you're not saying no yet, but you're also not saying yes yet. If you tend to jump into your yeses, but then you regret them later, this is the perfect method to use. It gives you time to think. I know we're always happy when we're invited to something. Someone remembered to think about us, to invite us to a party, or invite us to go out to dinner. But sometimes we just really don't want to, or we're just struggling with time at the moment. And doing this added thing is going to add chaos or stress in our lives. The person inviting you to something doesn't want to add stress to your life. They're not trying to put too much on your plate. So by giving yourself this amount of time, you can look at this through a different lens. You can take it on yourself to realize, okay, I do want to say yes. Or if you really don't want to say yes, when you get back to them, you'll have the reason why. And then you can say, hey, I really need more time, or I'd like to do it at another time. Or you can say, this just doesn't work for me right now. By saying to them first that you need to think about it, or that you'll check back in with them, they already know that you're checking something else. They already, on some level, expect a no. Kind of like when you see the shows of, the kids that say, the kids ask their mother something, and then the mother says, go ask dad. And they're like, oh, that means no, or vice versa. It's the same thing. They've pushed it off a little, and the person hearing that push off realizes that that push off can lead to a no. So when the no comes, it just doesn't feel as harsh. It doesn't feel as rude, or it doesn't feel quite so hurtful. So this is a nice way of being able to say no, but not directly, not right away. You're giving it time to give a softer no a little later. Hey, I looked at my schedule and I just don't have the time. I decided that's not an activity that I can do right now. Whatever the answer ends up being, you've taken the time to process it so that you feel good about the choice that you made. You're not going to be doing something through stress. You're not going to be doing something out of obligation. You'll be doing it because you want to do it. Or even more so, you won't be doing it because it's not what you want to do right now. This delayed no is a polite way to just soften the blow so that you can have an easier way to say no to somebody. And remember, a thoughtful answer to somebody is usually appreciated by the person receiving it. They'd rather you tell them now up front after you've thought about it than to have you not show up when the time comes. The fifth way to politely say no is to use the priority no. I think this one might be the healthiest because it kind of brings it all together. I'm focusing on my priorities now. I'm protecting my personal space. I'm not taking it on anything else at the moment. You can say things like, I'm focusing on other priorities right now. And sometimes instead of saying other priorities, you can put what that priority is. I'm focusing on my son right now. I'm focusing on healing this injury first. Maybe you've been invited to a party and you know that that's a trigger for you to start eating poorly. And you've been on this diet and you've done really well, or that you're doing really well. You can say, I'm focusing on eating healthy and I won't be able to control myself at your party. It's letting the person know that you still appreciate being invited. However, you need to focus on yourself. You could say something like, I'm protecting some personal time. That personal time, you should say what that is. I'm protecting my time with my son. I'm protecting whatever it is, to let the person know that it has nothing to do with that person. You're prioritizing something else. But that something else is probably something very dear to you. They'll understand that because you're letting them know where your priorities are. You can say something like, I'm not taking on anything else at this moment, or that's way too stressful for me right now. Again, you're letting somebody know that something else needs to be front and center for you. Everyone goes through different things in their lives, and every person comes to a point where this particular thing is way too stressful, or it's just way too much for them to deal with. You don't have to go into a huge, elaborate story, but letting somebody know that you just can't handle it because you need to prioritize something else is very understandable. You would understand it if someone said to you, I gotta do this instead. You understand because you've been there. Everybody has been there. Been in a position where, gee, I'd really like to go, but I need to do this first. I need to focus on this. I need to prioritize this. That's why the priority no works, because everybody can understand it. You're not being rude. You're just telling them like it is. When your priorities are clear and you address them accordingly, saying no becomes a lot easier. And actually, the person receiving that no understands completely. I really want you to notice something about all of these types of no's. None of them are rude. None of them attack the other person. None of them require a long explanation. They're simply respectful. They're respectful to you, and they're also respectful to the other person. I also want to add a no I received recently that definitely was not respectful, that definitely was not polite, and it definitely didn't go over well. The no I received was, hey, I don't mean to be a dick about this, but... Are you kidding me? Because guess how I'm going to reply to that, or guess how I'm going to feel with that type of response. I think that's exactly what you mean to be and how you mean to be. And now you've just made me mad, when you easily could have said, I can't do that right now. I definitely would have appreciated a direct no, an honest no, a priority no, any one of the no's that I just listed here. Instead, what I got was something hurtful, I got something mean, and I also got something that was so dishonest. I lost so much respect for that person. So don't use that type of no. If saying no has been difficult for you in the past, I hope these different types of no's will help you in the future. You don't have to be someone who says no all the time. In fact, I'm not asking you to. I'm not telling you to, and I don't think you should. This is all about how to say no in a nice way so that your feelings are protected, but you're also not hurting somebody else. If you think this might help somebody else, please share this video with them. Please like, subscribe to the channel. Let me know what else you would like to talk about. My name's Ellen. This is Ask Ellen, and I'll see you in the next one.